I'm going to tie up a hare's ear today. I just have some miscellaneous materials left on my desk here, and I'm going to use those. So I'm going to start out with this is an AREX size 14 jig style CZ mini jig hook, barbed. I like that. On this one, it's got a 3mm bead head. So I have some hen here, and I have a couple pieces just left. So hare's ear typically calls for some rabbit fur for the tail. I'm just going to use this material that's left over here. So I'm going to take one side of it, I'm going to pull them all together, and that's going to be my tail right there. So I'm going to lash those on right here. I'm about dead even with the barb of the hook. I'm going to take and trim those off. Now I'm going to do this one. I'm going to use some copper wire, because that's what I have sitting here on my desk. You could use brass, copper, black, green, anything you want for your wire. I'm gonna tie mine on at the back of the hook. You could tie it on at the front and over wrap it. You could start way over here and wrap it backwards. I just tied mine on straight at the back. So I have it there, and I'm using 70 denier thread, so it's a light thread. I'm gonna use 2 tones. I'm gonna use, this is my SLF. I've been tying a lot with this recently. It's Whitlock's Dubbing Blend #1 SLF Living Fibers, Synthetic Living Fibers. It's a combo. And I'm going to do this 2-tone. So I'm going to take some lighter color for the rear of the fly. And then I'm going to finish that off with some peacock colored for the thorax of the fly. So the abdomen back here is going to be light tan. Generally speaking, when I'm fishing, I'm using 2 flies to start with. I'm going to use a hare's ear in a light color that's larger. And then I'm going to use a pheasant tail-esque fly for my second fly. This is typically, I'm going to use this as my point fly. As my second fly underneath, it's going to be a darker, smaller fly. So I'm giving the fish 2 different looks. I'm giving him one that's a little bit bigger and lighter, and one that's a little bit smaller and darker. I'm going to move this just up so you can see it a little better. Okay. So I'm going to go about to right here. Build that up. Take my wire, overwrap this. Wire's just going to make it stronger. You can pick out this dubbing if you want to, make it buggier, whatever you want to do. I went a little too far, so I'm going to wrap back over it. These are old scissors, so I'm going to use my scissors to trim this off. You can helicopter it off. It was old, I want to cut that. There we go. I got some extra fibers here that are a little extra long. I'm going to clean those up. Then I'm going to take my pheasant tail. This is going to be the wing case for the fly. I'm going to take and cut those off of there. I've probably got 15, maybe 12 in there. I'm going to take and cut off the very end. Just clean it up a little bit. Now I'm going to take those, and I'm going to lash those on there. And I'm going to overwrap that all the way so they stay down. You could trim it off too. Doesn't matter. You're not going to see it. And I'm going to take my hen feather. Here, I got one right here. Started on it. So here's your feather. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to take this off. Cut that right there. Pull my wing fibers forward. I want those to be about right there. Now I just put those, lashed it down right behind the bead head. Trim off the extra part of the feather. I'm going to pull these forward. Hold that, and I'm going to lash that down right behind the bead. These are a little short, but they'll still work. I don't like a super long, pronounced wings in there. Pull up my feather, trim that off. This is the bottom of the fly, that's the top. So what I want to do here, now I'm going to take my accent color, which this case is peacock. So it's a contrasting dubbing color. I'm going to go right over the top of everything. Dubbing is very much like paint on your walls. You can cover up everything with dubbing. That looks really good. I'm going to take that, get my whip finish. Give it a 2-turn whip finish. Snap that off, and there you go. So you can take this if you want to. You could take your wing case, which isn't quite even on mine, but it still works. You can take your wing case, put a dot of UV cure on there, which would make it look like a bubble that's emerging, or you can take and just put to help hold everything together. Just a quick dot right here. That's where the slot is for the bead head. It'll soak right on down in there to the hook shank, cure it, and you're all set. So I'm going to take these guys and give them just a little bit. Get everybody happy here. For me, I like my hare's ears, the scruffier the better. So that's a very good looking fly. I'll fish that all day long.